What's going on, guys? I'm JK and this is JK is Hiking, where I'm all about hiking, backpacking, and gear. And today I want to talk to you about the Saucony Mad River TR. Now, before we get too far into this video, I do want to say, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you find out anytime one of these videos drops. So last July, I ran into a bit of a conundrum. See, I had been hiking so much over the year previous to that my feet had actually gone from a size 10.5 to a size 11.5. My feet had grown an entire size. The reason I found out is because I went hiking for one of my last sections of the Sheltowee Trace and I got black toes. If you don't know what black toes are, it's basically where your feet keep hitting the front of your shoe so much that the toenail gets shoved backwards into your toe. This causes your toenail to turn a horrific shade of black, and eventually the toenail falls off and you have to wait for that to grow back on. It's pretty painful and it's really gross looking. So I had to come up with something different. I ended up going to my local outfitter, J&H Landmark, here in Lexington, Kentucky, and wanted to find myself a new pair of trail runners that I could wear when I go out on the trail. And when I get there, I wanted to try out Hoka's. I wanted to try out some other companies that I'd never tried before. I'd been using Ultra Lone Peak 3.5s, and quite honestly, they just didn't cooperate with my feet very well. After trying on several different pairs of shoes, one of the guys that was working there handed me this box and said, "Hey, why don't you try these out? They're brand new, just got to the store today, and they're really interesting." And that's when I got my hands on a pair of the Saucony Mad River TRs. If you want to know what my initial reaction to these shoes if you'd like to see my initial reaction to these shoes, I'm gonna put a card right up here where you guys can check that out and see what I thought when I first got my hands on these shoes. Literally, when I picked up these shoes, I was one of just a handful of people who even owned a pair of these things. And I got them with cautious optimism. I say cautious optimism simply because when a new type of shoe comes out, you don't really know what to expect. You're not sure how durable it's gonna be. You're not sure if it's gonna be a shoe that's gonna fit your foot well, and you're not sure if all the things that they say it's gonna do, it actually does. Now, I will say, I haven't used every feature of these shoes because, quite honestly, I haven't needed to. But this is a feature-rich shoe that does a lot of really cool things. One of the things I love about these shoes is that you've got multiple ways that you can lace them. They have an inner set of loops that you can put your laces through and an outer set of eyelets that you can also put your laces through. I've learned that if you use these interlacing areas here, you get a little more freedom in the foot. They don't quite pull it as tight, so there's a lot less pressure on the bridge of your feet. While as this area out here, when you put these on the eyelets, it gives more support to the shoe and it pulls them in just a little bit tighter. Depending on how you like your shoes to fit, you can really set this up in a way that makes you feel most comfortable. Personally, I would lace them through the loop and then through an eyelet, then through a loop, then through an eyelet. It kind of was like a hybrid where it gave just enough support that I didn't feel like I was constricting my feet. And so for me, that's how I set them up. And of course, I use the heel locks. If there's one thing I will say about these shoes, when I first tried them on, I did not like them at all because the heels felt so loose. And if you've got a loose heel on your shoes, that means they're gonna rub. And if they're gonna rub, that means blisters. And heel blisters are from Satan. If you don't believe me that heel blisters are from Satan, check out this video where you'll see what my feet looked like when I was hiking through water and just how bad blisters can mess everything up. So like I said, I didn't like the way the heels fit, but then when I used the heel locks, they fit snug, they fit perfect, they were extremely comfortable and no rubbing whatsoever. The only negative to the whole lacing system is I don't feel like the shoelaces they give with the shoes are long enough. You can always buy longer ones, but it would be nice if you're gonna have a heel lock system built into your shoes that you would have shoelaces that were long enough that you're not having these small little loops like this to tie your shoes with. You definitely need a little bit more lacing for that, and what I found a lot of times too was I would pull the shoelaces a little too tight and it would constrict the tops of my feet and it would be really uncomfortable. I'm hoping in the future iterations of these shoes they adjust some things about that, because I will say that it's very easy because of this strap going right down through here. A lot of times I would feel like that was digging into the top of my feet when I would tie my shoes. It was really uncomfortable, and I could adjust it and I'd be fine. I'm hoping that they do something to correct the way that's done, so that in the future when you buy shoes like these, they're not digging into the tops of your feet so much. It's really uncomfortable. Once you figure out how to get around it, they're extremely comfortable, but it's kind of a learning curve with that area right through there. One of the things I love about these shoes is this nice wide foot box. When I was wearing the Ultras, that was one thing I did love. I loved the fact that my toes had the ability to splay out, giving me more balance when I was hiking, and these Sauconys offer that as well. As far as grip goes, these are the grippiest shoes I have ever owned, and I'm not just saying that. I have no relationship with Saucony whatsoever. These are the first Saucony shoes I've ever bought, and these by far are the grippiest shoes I've ever had. I don't know what it is about the way they've designed the bottoms of these, but if you look, you've got your treads that are arrows aimed away from the foot on either side, the opposite of each other, from the bottom of the feet to the top of the feet. And then also, you've got these grooves that are built in, these teeth right through, these orange teeth. And what I love about these orange teeth is the fact that they are also aiming in different directions. I found that walking on things like wet rocks and wet wood, these just traverse that a whole lot easier. These things actually make it so much easier to walk on wet conditions, sloppy conditions, and they really dig in. One of the things you don't want to do when you're hiking is you don't want to slip and fall, and these shoes are great about really giving you some stability when the conditions aren't necessarily the best. And if you look at the treads, you can see where some of the areas have chipped off and pulled, and you can see where they've worn down just a little bit. They have done a really, really good job of staying together and keeping the tread together. Now, these aren't as aggressive a depth of tread as a lot of other trail runners, and that made me a little bit nervous when I got them that they weren't really gonna do well in muddy conditions. But shockingly enough, they did really, really well. There is no perfect shoe. There really isn't. I know a lot of people have a shoe that they prefer over anybody else, but after wearing these now for the past 9 months, I would dare say that when the next version of these shoes come out, I'm probably gonna buy another pair. These have been extremely comfortable, they're lightweight, they're not zero drop. A lot of people prefer zero drop, but for me personally, I'm not a zero drop guy. I like that there's a touch of a rise in the heel to the toe. It's more comfortable for me when I'm hiking, and I find myself enjoying my hike a little bit more because of that. I love the wide toe box. I think the lacing system, while it is unique, there's still some work that can be done on it to avoid any kind of pain along the top of your foot if you don't do it correctly. I also feel like the shoelaces need to be a touch longer. If they're gonna send a shoe that has a heel lock, you should send shoelaces that are long enough to use the heel locks. I also like the fact that they have hooks for gaiters on these. While I quit using gaiters when I started using these because of the way this basic sock insert works on these. The shoes are great. I'm a big fan. Like I said, probably gonna buy them again when these wear out. I don't plan on wearing anything else at this point, and because of that, I will definitely say these shoes are getting a double thumbs up from me. I would say if you're interested in trying these out, you've got a good time to try them out right now, because if you are part of the REI co-op, they've already sent you a 20% off coupon that you can use to take 20% off any single item. These shoes sell for $110. 20% off of that is like $22, $23. So you can get these for under $100 right now. And I will say point blank, they're worth it. Great pair of shoes at a price you would expect for a good pair of trail runners. And if you're not crazy about the blue color, there are other colors you can check out. Just be sure to go online and look for these. They also sell them on Amazon and multiple other websites. Like I said, if you're on REI, you're a co-op member, you got a 20% off coupon waiting to be used. This is not a bad buy. Remember, this is just my opinion. Your opinion may be completely different. One thing I will tell you is go try them on and walk around in them. If you don't like them, don't buy them. But if you walk around in them, you put that heel lock in, and you feel what I felt when I first put these on, you may be interested in getting your hands on a pair of these Mad River TRs. So what trail runner are you wearing out on the trail? Or maybe it's not a trail runner at all. Maybe you're using a pair of hiking boots or hiking shoes. What are they? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys are using when you get out into the back country. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strong, hike long, and I'll catch you on the next go-around. What's going on, guys? Welcome to JK is Hiking. I'm JK. I'm the guy that's gonna talk to you because I'm the guy that does the videos. Talk to you about. And if you count with all 3 fingers and keep your thumb up, you're actually saying you've got 4 things you're talking about. So I just messed that up really bad. Let's go to the store. Let's get some eggs and milk and some peanut butter at the store where you buy hiking shoes. When another freaking NASCAR vehicle drives by my house. Come on! I am burping sushi like nonstop. Like I had like way too much sushi for lunch.